Good morning, bird brains, and welcome back to another episode. Unfortunately, we are here in the garage and we're not working on bikes today. I'm actually just going to be talking to you guys. Reason for that is that the weather has been absolute shit these past couple, weeks really. I'm getting tons of rain, and I know I'm always bitching about the weather, but you say, oh, go riding like a real biker. I don't have a problem with riding in the rain. My camera does. I'm Justin, the Hero 7's waterproof. You're absolutely correct, Mr. Internet Troll, but power banks, mic adapters, and an open GoPro Hero 7 is not. So that's why. So I actually put up a post on Instagram for a Q&A, ask me your questions, and we're gonna get to those in a second. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. Username here. I post a lot of stuff behind the scenes. You get, ask your questions, get to find out about rides and stuff sooner, all that good stuff. Like I said, username right here. Go follow me. I'm vain and need validation with numbers of likes and stuff. Speaking of being vain, I wanted to tell you guys about my new tattoo. I knew you guys were going to be asking about it anyways, because obviously going to be showing up quite often in videos since it's, plastered across my arm. And there's going to be a lot more added to it. So I figured might as well make a video to explain it. That way I can just refer people back to the video as opposed to, typing out the same answer 50 times. I know it's going to be hard to see it on camera, so here's a picture of it right here. This piece was actually done by Lynn Hernandez. I'll go ahead and include all his information down in the description. A very talented tattoo artist here in San Antonio. He's off of Thousand Oaks, I believe. And he's the same guy that did my piece for my dad. But what you're looking at is a astronaut. Specifically, it's Buzz Aldrin. This specific photo was taken by Neil Armstrong. The whole sleeve is going to be all space themed. So literally all you see here is all going to be space themed. I'm a huge space nerd. I love space. I love learning about it. I think it's one of the most fascinating things that we as a species have done is, to explore space and all that. But that's pretty much the only reason why. I think that tattoos are one of those things that someone asks you, hey, why'd you get that? That you can say, because I wanted it, and that should be plenty enough explanation, but that's not how the world works. So if you require an explanation, I like space. So it's not because I liked it, but I like space in general. So there you go. But seriously, guys, it's going to be a huge piece. We got lots more sessions to go. That's just one piece of many. But you'll see, pieces here and there kind of popping up in my arm, and the reasoning is going to be the same. Is I like space, and that's basically what my sleeve is going to be. But anyways, enough of that. Talking about me. Let's talk about me by answering questions that you asked me. It's all about me, I guess. All right, so first off, I'm gonna start off with my patrons. You can become a patron down at the link in the description. Pledge to any tier, and you get access to behind the scenes and giveaways and all that good stuff. Our first one actually comes from the one and only Uncle Ken. He always asks the best questions during a Q&A. Uncle Ken said, shit happens. So are you a sit-in white person, or are you a stand-in white person? I'm more of kind of like an in-between. It's more like a this number. Getting the higher toilets work better to get in there. Next up is Connor Hicks. He asks, we already know you are a dog person, but more importantly, Cheez-Its or Wheat Thins, without endorsing either one, of course. Yeah, this is not a sponsored ad, but neither. Actually, I'm a Triscuits guy, I think. I like the dill ones. They're dill and something. Here's a picture of them. Cheez-Its are meh. I feel like they're just adult goldfish, which in that case, I'd rather just have goldfish. And Wheat Thins taste like cereal posing as a savory snack. Next question is from Brandon Knott. He asked, do you prefer the flappers or the drummets when you're eating chicken wings? I'm actually a mixed guy. I like having a good mixture. Miss Bird does all drums extra crispy because she's an animal, and she just likes to, destroy her food before she eats it. Next up is Candy. She actually has two questions because she's selfish. She asked, one, where the hell is Donnie? And two, Sturgis 2019 or ever? Short answer, Donnie, he's not welcomed anymore. I don't really want to get into details any more than that. I don't like talking crap behind people's backs, so he's just not around anymore. That's all I gotta say. As far as Sturgis goes, I would love to make the trip eventually. I don't think it's going to be, I know for sure it's not gonna be in 2019. I don't have a estimated date, but it is kind of on that bucket list. I think what we're gonna kind of do is kind of mark out what roads or what events we want to go to and kind of work our way out. For example, we did the Rot Rally, which is only 60 miles away from us. And then later this year, I'm doing the Lone Star, which is like 180 miles away. And then we're doing Arkansas, which is like 900 miles away. We've done Big Bend, which is like 400 miles away. So we're just kind of gradually working our way out. Sturgis is, way up there, pretty far away from us. So it's probably going to be a while, but definitely someday. Unless, one of my sponsors wants to, be super cool and like fly me out there or something like that, do some guest appearances, sign some babies, shake some hands. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move over to Facebook now. Henry Kirk asked, what is the secret of life, the universe, and everything? We don't know. If we knew, it wouldn't be a secret. But I do know that a formula that describes most of the universe is the theory of general relativity, but I'm not qualified to tell you about that. There's a great documentary on it on a Curiosity stream. So if you really want to know about the secret to the universe, go watch that. Jack W. Campbell asked, all-time favorite bike and car? Ugh. My car, I still have to go with my C5Z in white, of course. If you want a different answer than that, because I give that answer every time, it'd have to be an Aston Martin, probably a V12 Vantage, one of the older ones, not the newer ones, like the 2013, 2014s. I love those cars, but they only made like 20 something of them, so probably will never get that, but it can still be my favorite. And as far as bike goes, I think the favorite bike that I have ever owned is probably the Dyna, but that's just because I experienced a lot of things on it. I know you're probably asking favorite bike as in like if money was no issue, which one would I buy? But there's not enough options in the world to really pick a favorite, especially without, riding them or experiencing them in person. Jeremy Foss actually had two really good questions. Here's the first one. He said, do you ever just get the chance to ride without worrying about turning it into a motovlog, or if it will make good content for the channel? So previously, the answer to that question would be absolutely not. But more recently, I have been focusing a lot more on taking just fun rides or going out with the intention to record, or not really the intention, but kind of the attitude of if I get something great, if not, I'll just delete this footage, not a big deal. So I'm getting better at picking and choosing when to film and when not to film. Jason Goldberg, we'll get to Jeremy's other question here in a second. Jason Goldberg asked, will we ever see another Dyna on the channel, Sporty or FXR? Probably. Reason being is that we're probably going to be going to the Dyna platform, or maybe a Softail, we don't really know, for Project Clean Slate. It's basically where we're going to be taking a bike from stock, maybe even crashed or salvaged, customizing the shit out of it and giving it away to a veteran. If you're interested more in that, you can head over to betweentwowheels.com. Any money that goes into the podcast is going straight to that project. We're not taking any profit or any money from your Patreon or your donations or buying shirts or anything like that. All that goes directly to Project Clean Slate. But like I said, we don't have a bike yet, but it could possibly be a Dyna. Who knows? As far as a Sportster goes, I would like to build one and give it away, kind of similar to like Chase's Wrecked Bike Rebuild or Blockhead's bike giveaway, but I don't have the funds for that yet. I would have to really grow the channel, really grow the Patreon before I could even do that. And as far as the FXR goes, probably not. I feel like that market has become way too high, and I feel like it's kind of on a bubble, it's ready to burst, and it's just not a worthwhile investment for me, both time and money wise. Vero B. Ramos asked, where can I meet a nice guy that will let me ride on the back of a bike? Hashtag passenger probs, hashtag addicted. I have a really good friend. His name is Team Bradley. He is single Air Force, and I guarantee you he'll let you ride on the back of his bike, but careful because he might drop it. Tony Barnes asked, when are you going to show your new bike? It's already shown. That's what you get for asking a time-sensitive question. And here's Jeremy Foss's second question. Out of all the mods on the dyno, what was your favorite? Which one would you recommend as a first modification? My favorite, I'd have to say my favorite was probably the fairing. Reason being is that I had never installed a fairing before, so that was fun. It was also kind of that iconic moment to where that bike, you know, went into the club style category. Which one would I recommend doing first? Hands down the seat. The stock seat on the Dyna is absolute garbage. Stock seats on most Harleys are absolute garbage, but that bike was damn near unrideable with the stock seat. So I would definitely recommend getting a seat before anything else. David Asay, or Asay, A-S-A-Y, your channel has never really done anything twice. With a Sporty done, Dyna done, Camaro introduced, and now Bagger done, where do you see this channel in 1 to 2 years? First off, David, great question. 1 to 2 years, that's actually a long time. This channel is actually coming up on its 3rd year anniversary, so that would literally be half of the channel life at this point. Really, it could go either way. This channel could be dead in 2 years for all I know. I hope it's not. I have no intentions on ending it, but you know, things happen. But what I'd really like to see it is constantly flipping bikes. Turn this into more of a garage channel that just kind of sprinkles motovlogging in, as opposed to a motovlogging channel that is kind of half and half. I'd like to, you know, build up enough equity in these bikes to where I can buy them cheap, mod them, and sell them, and basically restart. I'm really getting into the whole design aspect of the bike. So, you know, taking the Photoshop rendering and try to make the bike look like that. So that's kind of where, the more I get to do the designing aspect, the better. Eric Benavides asked, barbecue, charcoal or gas? I'm really not a barbecue guy. I know that's, you know, super unmanly thing to say, especially as a Texan, but my dad barbecued a lot growing up, and I never really got into it at all. I do like cooking. I don't really do it much more anymore, or very often anymore, because I'm a very carb heavy cooker. And now that I can't have carbs, I can't really cook anything. Miss Bird is a great cook and she handles all that. But when I was cooking, I was definitely more of a gas guy than a charcoal guy. And I'm gonna piss people off with that, but I value my time, and just going and having heat is a lot more convenient than, you know, dumping the charcoal in, lighting it, letting it get hot, let it cool down. I like the time convenience sake of it. Stephen Cruz asked, do you use any fuel additives on your bikes to clean the gunk out, like sea foam or anything? I actually haven't had a bike long enough to need that, but in cars, I use BG44K, which I know Harley, I believe a lot of Harley dealerships sell BG44K. It did wonders for some of my cars back in the day, and that's kind of the routine one I keep in my cars. So BG44K, if I ever had to do it on a bike, that's what I would put in. And then last but not least, over to our Instagram platform. Art745 asked, what tools do you ride with? None. I'm super irresponsible. I haven't really made any sort of like emergency tool roll for these bikes. When I did long trips on the Dyna, I did carry my tool pack on the Biltwell Xfil 80. I actually did a video going over every single tool that I did. Actually, I don't know why I did that. I can't put the video there. I'll link it down in the description. It's a video that goes over pretty much every single tool that I kept in that bag for the longer trips. Next up is I Spy Camera Shy. He said, what fuel cap did you switch to for your center console? It's this one. It's not a, it's like a $10 Amazon. It's not flush mount, but it's just a basic. I think it's like a Joker Machines knockoff, but it's super basic. But it's doing the job. It hasn't leaked at all. And I kind of like the look of the raised cap more than the flush mount with this dash. Next up, takezo.quen. When will the Team Bradley build series start? Also, how's marriage been treating you? So a funny thing about the Team Bradley build series is that we actually were filming an episode of it, but we ended up running into a lot of issues. Reason being is that a lot of companies don't realize how much changed from the 2017 Slim to the 2018 Slim. So pretty much everything he ordered didn't fit, even though it said it did. It wasn't his fault. Granted, that is something that Team Bradley would do, but I double checked pretty much everything he ordered before he ordered it, and it still didn't fit. So, but there's going to be some news coming on that front very soon. Bodine52 asked, do the Steelers have a good shot at winning the Super Bowl this year? Woo, sports ball! I have no clue. Bikes, Bites, and Brews asked, what color will your next build be? It's going to be white. That's all I'm going to say. Blowing Smoke 85. In your opinion, going from a Sportster to a bigger bike, would you go street glide or road glide? This is a very easy answer. I obviously would go road glide since I bought one, but what I would recommend for you doing is go test ride them. I actually just talked about this on the podcast over at Fast Life Garage, is that they are such completely different bikes. They handle differently, they ride differently. Everything about those bikes is different just based off of that fairing alone. So go ride both of them. They're Harleys, so you can go test ride at pretty much any dealership. Go ride them, see which one you like better. I would say half the bagger world lives and swears and dies by the Batwing, and the other half the road glide. So it's really a personal preference. Metric Maverick asked, will we see a new Softail in the future? Well, you already did. Justin Shanona, do you think you will start doing more rides out of state? This is the last year for Rolling Thunder. It's supposed to be a grand finale to a long tradition. Would love to ride with you and crew if you're ever in the Virginia area. Peace, brother. Ride safe and keep up the content. I kind of answered that question with an earlier answer, but we are going to be venturing a little bit more out of state. But you guys have to keep this in mind, is that living in Texas, it's like, I think the closest border to us to get out of the state is 400 and something miles, 400 and change. Like, it's closer to get to Mexico than it is to get out of Texas by quite a bit. So we have to ride 5-6 hours just to get out of the state. So out of state trips are a long haul for us, but I definitely don't see us being in the Virginia area anytime soon. Grant Simper asked 3 questions because he don't give a f. Number 1, what would you say are the best resources to learn how to work on your own bike if you have no experience and no friends that are into riding? You live in the age of unlimited knowledge. All you have to do is log on to an internet connected device and know what to search for. I put it in those words because sometimes you're so ignorant, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing shameful about ignorance. That's just lack of experience. But there is that level of ignorance where you don't even know what to search for. HD Forums is a great place. There's a lot of people that, talk shit on there and stuff like that, but HD Forums is a great place. And YouTube. I know YouTube. I preach it so much. There are so many how-tos out there that by great channels. Just some off the top of my head, Del Boy's Garage does a great job. Touring Midwest does a great job. They all do how-tos. And even if it's not specifically what you were looking for, most of the time you can kind of get an understanding on how that piece works on the bike, or how that certain procedure goes, to where you kind of have the confidence to go do it yourself. The way I always like to tell people is that even the lead mechanic on the #1 MotoGP team at one point in his or her life knows exactly what you know at this very moment. Only difference is experience and education. Number 2, what's the best way to find a local reputable bike shop, powder coat shop, etc. when online searches aren't finding any? I would say word of mouth. I would say join a local riding group, whether that be, HOG or a Facebook group or anything like that. A lot of towns and cities have Facebook groups that are pretty active that are outside the HOG chapter. I would say that'd probably be your best place, but word of mouth. Someone in your area has got to have done work to their bike or powder coat, etc. And number 3, what's the best way to find groups to ride with without going to your local HOG? I'm going to refer to answer number 2, Facebook. That's pretty much my best bet. Reddit, maybe. They also kind of have some riding groups set up, so I would just search around there, maybe ask if anyone's in the area on like a forum like either our Harley or our motorcycles. Cast a wide net and see what you find. Joe_6847, can you go over maintaining your bike? Do you do the service every 5,000 miles or take it in and hand over $450 to the dealer? So I've touched on this briefly, but I'll go into pretty good detail on it. 1,000 mile and 5,000 mile, I let the dealer take over. Reason being is that a lot of stuff can happen within those first 5,000 miles that I don't feel that I'm adequately trained to spot or fix or even know what's going on. Yes, $450 is a lot of money, but it's more than just an oil change. I know that's a cheesy saying they use at their service department, but they really do go over the full bike and catch, I would say, 85-90% of the stuff that may be wrong with your bike. After that, pretty much anything that was gonna go wrong has probably already gone wrong. wrong, or at that point you're comfortable enough with your bike to where you would know if it felt off or if something was wrong with it. So anything after that, I would definitely stick with the same 5,000 mile service, but I might look into doing it myself. Scuffery33 asked, have you done any two-up riding on the Dyna? If so, how comfortable is the step-up seat for the passenger? I do some riding with my girlfriend and don't want to spend all that money on a nice seat for me if it's going to make it even worse for her. We did do a little bit of two-up riding on the Dyna with the step-up seat. It was much better than stock, seeing as it does not have one stock, but it's definitely not to the point of a touring bike. I don't think that there is really going to be a seat on the market that's going to get you the comfort of a bagger. There might be like some of those really road sofa touring seats, but I definitely would not recommend the Saddlemen step-up for long, I would say more than 100 miles riding two up for her. For you, you're gonna be fine, but I think you're more worried about her, which is smart. I just realized I forgot to answer Tazua Quinn's second question. Also, how's marriage been treating you? It's the same. I wear a ring to work now, so that's kind of cool. I tap it on my desk and really piss off my coworker just because I'm always listening to music and I tap a lot. Kyle Rogan asked, any interest in coming up to Wisco for a rally? I'll house and feed you while you're here. I'm guessing Wisco is short for Wisconsin. In that case, no, that's 1,295 miles from here, so probably not. One Neek asked two questions. Will we see helmets that seem to disappear appear at the push of a button before we croak? I've seen them in the Avengers movie, so they're real. LOL. Justice of the peace. Maybe. I mean, engineers are pretty crazy. I don't think so. Just as a logical thinking human being, probably not. But then he also asked, are you all staying at Adams Campground this year for the Bring It Home? No, we are actually staying at the casino. My brother-in-law was nice enough to grab a few rooms as soon as the date was announced, so my irresponsible ass, even though it was sold out by the time we started looking, has a room there at the Choctaw Casino. So hopefully, maybe I can, play some roulette or craps with you guys. That'd be pretty dope because I love gambling. Please come gamble with me. Give me your money so I can gamble. All right, and last but certainly not least, this is my favorite question of the batch. That's why I saved it for last. And it's by Tattoos by Gage. He asked, do you ever get jealous, down, or wonder if your efforts are enough when it comes to how great your content is compared to your subscriber count when and if you compare yourself to other YouTubers? If so, what turns that around and gets you excited to make more great content? Yo, man, that's... I thought I had an answer for it, but then I went to words and it just mouthed in words. No, but in all seriousness, yes, I do get jealous, just me being completely transparent and vulnerable here. Maybe I have a shitty subscriber count because I can't talk. I'm just kidding. My subscriber count is far from shitty. I love every single one of you guys. I feel like I'm doing the best I can. I think that is really what helps keep me grounded. Like I said, I definitely do get jealous. I definitely do get bummed here and there when I see, someone, cranking past 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, 300,000. But I feel like I'm doing my best. If there was something that I could do better, maybe it would hurt more, but I think that most YouTubers, especially, I've even heard it from, people who are 10 million plus, that YouTube is about 40% talent, 60% luck. I've heard that from Casey Neistat, Roman Atwood, Philip DeFranco. A bunch of stars that are, past that 1 million mark. A lot of it has to do with luck. And I don't know, I enjoy doing it. I truly enjoy making the content, having the following, getting these opportunities that I wouldn't elsewhere. So I like to try to focus on the positive, not stay down. When I do get down, I like to talk about new ideas. For example, I think last week, I felt myself really getting burned out. I literally had no ideas for videos. I was just squashed. And I said, you know what? I talked to Miss Burr. I said, let's go get some coffee. Just sit out on a patio somewhere at a Starbucks and just talk. And that's what we did. And thankfully, she doesn't have the ideas, but she has enough to say things to get my gears turning again. She's kind of like, the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, how he has to pour the oil. Miss Bird is my oil to just sit there and oil up those creative joints. And I'm really thankful that she does that with me. And now I've got like 12, 13 videos on the back burner just waiting to be shot. And I've already shot like 3 or 4 of them. So yeah, all it takes is just a little you know, I wouldn't say a break. Breaks aren't always beneficial. I've taken creative breaks before that I come back just as empty as I did when I went into it. I would say talking to people outside the community helps. Maybe sometimes talking to people within the community, but Miss Bird's really my rock when it comes to the creative burnout and the emotional roller coaster that is YouTube. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's episode. Keep a lookout for more look at me individualization being pumped into my arm. Keep a lookout for other Q&As. Like I said, links to all my social media accounts are down in the description, as well as a link over to the Patreon where you can get behind the scenes access, get your questions answered first, as well as entries into the monthly giveaways. Other than that, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.